role of being a practice educator is about supporting students through their clinical journey. It's using my experience as a clinician out on the road and helping to identify how I can best support and use that experience to bring the best out of students and help them to meet their full potential as clinicians out on the road.
So my personal experience of being a practice educator has actually been really positive. When I initially agreed to be a practice educator, I wasn't actually expecting that. If I'm totally honest, my motivations were money and something to write on my CV. I didn't expect to really enjoy it, but for me it's been brilliant. It's been really fun watching students develop and almost seeing them go from being petrified of everything to knowing a little bit and having a little bit of confidence to being competent. And it's actually really rewarding, and it's not something that I ever had as a student. So it's great to be part of something so positive that's helping so many people. Firstly, being honest with the students, giving honest feedback in an appropriate manner. Always being approachable, I think, is a massive thing. It's absolutely petrifying being a student paramedic. I can vouch for that because I was one, as we all were, and I was petrified of everything. I was petrified of doing things wrong, I was scared of doing things right, I was scared of not doing things, I was scared of doing things. So I think a massive part of it is being approachable to the students. So I've learnt loads about giving feedback, I've learnt loads of clinical things and updated my knowledge because these guys, their training is much more up to date than mine is. So we've kind of learned together and it's been a two-way thing. So yeah, we've both learnt loads.
One of the things that surprised me actually, that I certainly felt personally benefited me from the role, was that it enabled me to reflect on my practice. If you're having to explain why you're doing something and what you're doing, and to look at your actual clinical level of professionalism and your clinical care, and you're having to work with the student to actually analyse and reflect on that, then it's going to improve your level of clinical care. So I think it's improved me as a clinician. I think it's helped me to be honest about my own strengths and weaknesses, and it's helped me to look at the areas that I need to perhaps increase with regard to my knowledge. And we really have it as a collaborative effort, so I work with the students. If I'm not sure about something, it means that we go away and we work together to find those answers, and that's certainly improved my clinical care.
Before I got involved in the practice education system, I didn't really reflect as much as perhaps I should have as a clinician. That's changed massively for me, and I've learnt a lot, and it's absolutely changed my practice as a paramedic for the better.
It's also been a good springboard for me, so I've gone into a training and education role, and it was certainly something that was a stepping stone and able to get me some experience of working to support students and to bring the best that I could out of them. There's nothing better than the feeling when you have a student that's really struggling with something, that initially doesn't get it, and you help them to unlock their potential, and you see the absolute joy on their face when they get it right and when they do something that's positive for a patient. And I still see students now out on the road that I've mentored previously, and they want to come up and tell me when they've got their paramedic epaulets, or they want to come up and tell me when they've gone to a job that was challenging and they've got it right. And that's really nice, and you get a real sense of pride when that happens, and that's really great that you enable people to reach their full potential. And it's not about me telling them what they should and shouldn't do, it's about me facilitating their what they've already got and their skills and what they can actually reach, which is their full potential.
Being a practice educator is really super rewarding. For example, I was involved with a student who hadn't had the best start in terms of just logistics of finding a constant practice educator, and it's been really rewarding for me to see him go from someone who was not so confident and I'm not going to say struggling because he wasn't struggling at all, but he's having some difficulty in finding his feet in the role, and it's really rewarding to see him go from that to now being qualified and, in my opinion, an excellent clinician who I'd be more than happy to treat a member of my family.
I hope that if I can encourage them and give them a positive experience as a practice educator, it'll be almost like a pass it on experience, so they will then want to become practice educators in the future. So if their experience is a positive one at this stage, they will then want to go on and aspire to do that for their colleagues in the future that are needing that level of support.
Supporting the students in their confidence building over the 2-3 years that they're with us is noticeable when they then come and start with us as employees in terms of patient care, interaction with colleagues at work. You know, I think there's a term, reality shock, and where people who have been learners with us then come to work with us as employees, it's quite clear that reality shock, that fear of employment is sort of like is reduced because of the experiences they've had in practice education. And where those experiences have been particularly positive, that benefits the patients, it benefits the trust, it improves our staff retention, we become an employer of choice. There's huge benefits to it.